And we're on. Hello, welcome to podcast episode 163 of Robodope Boxing. The two Daves are back on a Thursday to give you a bit of a preview into this weekend's boxing. Let's try it now. My thumbnail, it fucked up yesterday. If you're new to the channel, please like, share, and subscribe. There we go. It's back. A little play around with it today. Don't know what's going on. It's on some sort of timer thing now, mate. Some new kind of, I don't know, something's been added to StreamYard anyway. I figured it's kind of figured it out, so it's working. So we had an episode yesterday, brother. 162. It's out for everybody to watch on YouTube and to listen and watch on Spotify. We're going to crack in straight with the previews going into this weekend. It's completely stacked. Some great boxing about. Just quickly before we do move into it, just two things I want to speak to you about that we spoke about last night that have come up today in the world of boxing. Firstly, the pound for pound king, or one of them, Mr. Terence Crawford, has given his reasons why he's kind of, yes, he's been stripped of the WBC belt, which you said yesterday, but he's kind of explained why he's done it in terms of, fuck you, Suleiman, I'm not paying the money. And what we've been banging the drum for on this podcast since day one, the only belt that matters is the Ring magazine. And you know why? Because it's number one versus number two, and there's no motherfucking sanctioning fees. I thought that was fantastic from Bud Crawford in the week. Today, actually, Dave, on that video on Twitter.
It was a great video, mate. And like I say, he said he's paid all the others. What makes you any different to the other sanctioning bodies? We've agreed a fee. I've paid them the fee that they were happy with. Why are you asking for $300,000 and wanting it? And he's binned it. Fuck it, yeah. And then he's explained himself why. And then he's also lit him up about Benavidez. Being the manager for God knows how long, letting Canelo do what he likes. And, like we said, it's the Wild Wild West, and he's exposed him now. So, a fair play to Bud Crawford, come out, explained it very well, and he's come out of it very well, to be fair. The fact all of us boxing fans are all for exactly what he said. And, he's told him to get fucked, and great.
I loved it. I think, obviously, Uncle Turkey's bought the Ring magazine belt now, isn't he? And I think off the top of my head, Abdullah Mason, Anaya Nue, Hamza Shiraz, and is Terence Crawford an ambassador as well for Turks?
Oh,
is he involved in an ambassadorial way like the other boys? He's involved somehow, isn't he? I'm sure he's involved somehow.
Yeah, possibly.
It's going down the route now of obviously Super Boxing, Ring magazine. I like it. And somebody put on one of the comments, mate, which kind of summed the WBC up really in the modern day. They're a cartel disguised as a sanctioning body. I think that's spot on.
Yeah,
I think that is spot on.
No, they are. Absolutely, yeah. It's the mafia in plain sight.
Definitely, mate. Definitely. So that cheered me up. Just quickly, we spoke about Fran Hennessy yesterday and calling out Shannon Courtney. Shannon Courtney saying the purse was too low, etc. I said she needs to fight, and she needs to fight now. Get some rounds in, go straight into the Hennessy fight, etc. She must have watched this podcast within the last couple of hours or something, because in the last couple of hours, it's come up that she's actually got a fight, Dave. After all this time, she's got a fight on an MVP card. It's on the week of AJ Paul. So, like Turkey does these kind of night before or 2 night before cards when you have a load of fighters fighting and then they move into the main card on the Saturday.
That's right.
It's on Wednesday. She's fighting on a Wednesday. It's a random card. She's not going to be getting, she's going to probably be getting a pittance, but she's being there on fight week. Eyeballs are going to be on Netflix or on YouTube, etc. So fair play. She's got the fight. Get through that. She's against some American girl, 40-year-old, 2-2-2 record, 6-rounder. Who cares? She's out and about. She's put herself out there. Get the win and go for Fran. Fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Fantastic. So right, let's crack in. I'll start with the prediction league. I've not even got a thumbnail for it because it's ridiculous now. As you can tell, look, it was 11-19 last week today. This week it's 11-20. He's actually hit the big 2-0. He's at the doubles. 9-6 it ended up, ladies and gentlemen. I don't need to go through all the results. It was the Fran Hennessy fight that done it. We were level all the way. Same kind of predictions.
Yeah.
I went for by Chichi. He went for Fran. And that was the difference, mate. So well done. 11-20 to you. So coming into the winners' weekly wage at the end, you get to pick the banker again, mate. I'll give up. I gave up ages ago. I've been fantastic in this. I've got to blow me on trumpet. I am great at predictions. Which trumpet?
I wish someone else would blow me other trumpet. That never gets blown. I can only blow my own.
Do you know what? The thing is, though, I didn't think Fran Hennessy was ready for someone that's been on the world stage and been a world champion. So I went with my head rather than my heart, and I still fucked up. So yeah, can't do right for doing wrong. Anyway, let's jump straight into these matches at the weekend. Right, I've sorted out the banner. If it goes off, I ain't got a clue what's going on. It doesn't matter. We've got Jai Opetaia versus Huseyin, Cinkara over at the Gold Coast Convention Centre. This is on Saturday afternoon, I believe, for us here in the UK. As far as I know, it's been a weird... Matchroom aren't involved. I didn't realise Jai was kind of co-promoted. I just thought he was a Matchroom fighter. Eddie hasn't been singing his praises for the last few months. I don't know why. Tasman Fighters promotional company. This is their card. It's on... well, it was on just a random streaming service, Dave, that I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you what it was. Luckily, as far as I know, the last 2 nights or last 2 days, UFC Fight Pass has steamed in and got coverage for it, so we can watch it in the UK and we can watch it in the States. A fair fucking play to them. But going on to the fight, Dave, Jai Opetaia, one of your favourite fighters, one of mine as well. I think he's the best cruiserweight in the world. He's been active this year, but all of his opponents in David Nika, the Italian fellow who was a mandatory, and obviously now Huseyin Cinkara, all BoxRec jobs. And what I mean by that is we have to look at BoxRec to see who they are, what and what they've done. These aren't the fights we want. We've been through this kind of week after week after week. We're waiting for the winner of Zerdo Benavidez. We're waiting for the winner of Badou Jack versus McGrail. Doesn't mean Jai's going to get the title opportunity. It's a complete shit show. Cruiserweight's crap. And you know what? Just to throw out a fucking wild guess, Pat Brown will end up getting fucking Badou Jack or Zerdo the way it's going. And I mean that. It's an absolute joke. But, you know, we do feel sorry for Jai. We think he's the best. It's another kind of tick-over fight. Do as you're told until one of those other belts are free or when he gets the chance, mate. I don't think much of this fight because I don't think much of the opponent. He's got nobody to note on his resume. He's done it the right way. He's ranked #1, so fair play to him. He's got his ranking points. But let's be totally honest. He's a 40-year-old guy called the Hurricane. He's not, from what I've seen, he can punch a bit, he can do a bit, but he's not on Jai's level. Come on.
No, there's chalk and cheese, mate, when it comes to levels. I had a little look at this bloke on the way home from work to see if he had anything that I could that could maybe get up for this fight, and the answer is no. The bloke, like the people that he'd been in with, all shapes and sizes. Like I watched one clip where one of them was fatter than me. And then in the next clip, he was fighting someone that was fucking looked like a lightweight. yeah, skinnier than me, fatter than you, skinnier than me. But and like I say, the level of opponent that he's been in with this is a different stratosphere when he walks in to face Jai Opetaia. Like, and listen, if you looked at the level of opponent he's had and you don't really know too much about him, you'd probably think that he's a world beater because. He made himself look fantastic against this level of opponent. You know, like he's on the front foot in all the fights that I'd seen of him. You know, he's got enough time to pick his shots to the body, head to the body. You know, looks $1 million. And then you look at the state of the opponent he's in with. You know, there was one of them where he was teeing off about 30 punches, and the guy was just down there like this, not even trying to fire back. You know, like it looked white collarish to me. You know, it looked very white collarish, and then he's throwing shots from wide stances, just like this, and it just looked a mess. And he's in with a world beater. He's in with a killer because Jai Opetaia doesn't take no prisoners. You know, he will go in there and want to knock you spark out.
He's angry anyway. He's angry enough as it is, isn't he? Jai.
This is what I mean. So Cinkara's never been with anyone like this, and he's going to find out the hard way on Saturday night for me, mate. I feel sorry for Jai Opetaia. Big fans. He wants the fights. He's not getting them. There is some sort of voodoo, some like shit going on the other side of the draw.
Magic, baby.
Yeah, if you want to call the side of the draw, Jai Opetaia's over here, and there's this all in-house shit going on over there, and he's a victim of that, and it's a shame because for me he beats them all, and that's the reason why he's over there, you know, twiddling his thumbs. In regard to this fight, it's for me, it's just another run-of-the-mill fight. It's another fight. Obviously, he needs to keep busy. Because you have to, you can only fight what's put in front of him. This guy's the #1. Do we think he should be a #1? Listen, he's earned his stripes to get there. Is he a #1 contender? Not for me. But then that just shows the division as it is, and we've spoken about this before. This weak as fuck for a guy like this to be #1. He has to deal with him. For me, he's going to deal with him, and I think he's going to walk through him like a dose of salts. And for me, Jai Opetaia, knockout in round #2.
I was going to say 2. You like the old Dulce Salts quote now, didn't you? You use that a lot, that one.
I'll take that from you now, yeah.
Yeah, we switch kind of reverse roles. I like using the old crest of a wave.
Yeah.
Your one. But yeah, I was going to say I'll go for round 3. You're right. It just makes it fair play to him. You know, he's Cinkara. He's done everything what he's told to do. He's had percentages taken off him when he's in winning ranking events. You know, he's earned the right, but it's not nowhere near, should be nowhere near Jai's level. And I think it's going to be a seek and destroy mission on Saturday. I think it's about Saturday afternoon, this, guys, for us in the UK.
We could use another quote that that Derek Chisora used in the Dylan White head to head. I'll go through you like a laxative.
I remember it. Yeah. Dylan White's there. That's a strange analogy.
yeah. So he's gonna go through him. You're gonna go through him like a laxative.
Yeah, either or, isn't it? It's definitely either or. Just quickly before we move over to Monaco, Jake Wiley. Do you remember him, Dave?
Yes.
Done a life and death with George Kambosos Jr.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It was
a good fight. Yeah.
Yeah, he got awarded a contract with Matchroom, so maybe Matchroom are involved along the line here. He's on this card, and Jason Maloney and Terramona Jr. Is on this card as well. He'll be looking to make it 9 wins, 9 KOs to see what's going to happen with him in 2026. Kind of not a forgotten man, but another guy that's kind of building, if you like, in the heavyweight division. Right, let's go over to Monaco, mate. Monte Carlo, James Bond's kind of country, isn't it? If not country, but that kind of that style. Dicky bows, ties, shirts, white collars. Matchroom do one of these shows every year. I kind of like the old Monaco thing. I like the old chandeliers. I like the small, darker, events. Selected crowd can go, all things like that. I do kind of like the Monaco vibe every once in a while. And this is probably the best Monaco card Matchroom have done, especially since I've been watching on these shows. Shabaz Masoud versus Pete McGrail. When this fight was announced, it's wankable. This is a boxing hardcore fight. A casual fan wouldn't know either of these two fighters, and I don't blame them because they haven't got the same kind of promotion as other fighters. They're down in the lower weights, get it. But for a boxing fan, this is high level chess. This is a brilliant matchup. It's for the EBU super bantamweight title, a proper legit title that boxing fans recognise.
Yeah. And
I've got to admit, they're hard to split. I mean, you've got McGrail 12-1, 6 KOs, Masoud 14-0, 4 KOs. Orthodox versus Southpaw. We've seen Pete McGrail go to America, dominating nearly everybody he's fought, got caught cold, got knocked out, rebuilt, went in against Reece Edwards, late minute replacement, against all styles. McGrail, stellar amateur, came close that night, done a job on Baluta. It shouldn't have been a split decision. It was a lot wider from Pete McGrail, I think me and you spoke about. But Shabaz Masoud's the one for me, mate.
Yeah.
In terms of, even though I said it's close, and it is very close, this fight, it's kind of a pick and fight, if you like, in terms of what kind of IQ and craftsmanship and levels you want to pick. If Shabaz Masoud's been out a year, which is going to be ring rust there, it's a bit too long for him. However, if this fight was kind of ordered before Shabaz Masoud took on Liam Davis, I'm picking Pete McGrail all day long.
Yeah,
I think this is a step too far for Shabaz Masoud. He's good at a certain level, but Pete McGrail is going to go on to do things like, I think Pete McGrail will go on to do things. He's in the same kind of conversation as Junaid Bostan and Cameron Vong. Don't get me wrong, he's got a better background in terms of amateur style and things like that, but he's predicted to go on and win major honours.
Yeah.
Shabaz Masoud against Liam Davis. I can't remember what you picked, but I definitely thought Liam Davis would have too much for him. I think he'd get to him and just stop him.
Yeah.
It's complete opposite. It was complete. It was an absolute. For me, it was a masterclass. I think it was a majority decision to Shabaz Masoud off the top of my head. If it was nowhere near that close. It was a unanimous decision for me.
It was a split, mate.
There you go. Even worse. To me, he's got Masoud's got the kind of a touch of the Sonny Edwards for me. He can plant his feet, but he moves his body in a lateral way like that, makes you miss, counter punches, pivots off to the side, and you can't see the fucker. He's so quick. His inside work's very good, and he can trade if he wants to trade. Pete McGrail at times, Dave. We've seen him in the Reece Edwards fight. We've seen him in the Baluta fight. And obviously he took it against Jared O'Quinn, I think the American guy. He just took his eye off the ball for a second. He gets drawn into bits and bats that he doesn't need to.
Yeah.
A bit of an ego there, a bit of I'm better than you kind of thing. This is a brilliant, brilliant fight. I've made my mind up now, but I think when you're matchmaking, especially on a British level / European, this is perfect. Absolutely perfect. I can't wait for this.
I was really looking forward to this fight when it was announced, and I still am. I do think that, like, when you're looking at their recent opponents and where they actually have got to now, I think the difference is the Liam Davis win. I think that's a massive difference in the way that this fight shifts in the way that you predict. But I still think it's going to be a close fight. I've said about Peter McGrail before. I spoke about it last night about with Junaid, well, not with Junaid Boston, sorry.
Cameron
Vong not having the power to earn opponents' respect, and I feel the same about Peter McGrail. I've felt that in his last few fights. Talented boxer, very good footwork, fast hands, fast feet, but I feel like he doesn't have the pop to have someone who's a little bit maybe not as good technically, but it's got the dog in him. And then I feel like he can be walked down, and then be in hard fights. And I feel like that Reece Edwards fight was very much like that. I know it was a late replacement.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. Sorry to interrupt. You said it was a late replacement, but this is where I want to kind of flip it if you want. All these amateur fighters that have had stellar careers and fought around the world and have hundreds of fights, they all say, I'm used to any style. I can work any style. It's not new to me.
No.
So with you saying that, then kind of I get it in the pro ranks, but you should have been ready for that style. He was ready. He won the fight, but it was harder than what it was supposed to be.
Yeah. Well, amateur styles don't get to see tapes and that. They 9 times out of 10 they find out the name of who they're fighting on the day.
On that day, yeah.
Or sometimes even when they're standing opposite them in the ring, or might even not even know their names until after. So that is the amateurs game, and I love the amateurs, as you know. But going on to the fight, I think this is it's a chess match because neither of them are bangers. Neither of them are big punches, but they're both very technically very good.
They're craftsmen, both of them.
Yeah, both of them are. So their attributes are very similar. I just believe that at this stage of their career and looking at their opponents, and especially the last opponent of Shabaz Masoud, who a lot of people tipped to get beat by Liam Davis. Liam Davis was a killer, really. He was the puncher,
made him look stupid.
Yeah, outboxed him unbelievably, and no one saw that coming. I just feel that win is the difference. I feel that level of opponent is the difference in a matchup like this. But I do believe it's going to be a close fight. I believe, and I don't want to be disrespectful to Liam Davis, I believe that maybe Peter McGrail will make a better account of himself against Masoud. I don't think it'll be as one-sided as that fight for me. But I do think that Shabaz Masoud will do enough, and there'll be a wafer thin decision. And for me, I'm going to go for Shabaz Masoud on points. But I don't, like I say, I think Shabaz Masoud's going to win. I think that the fight is going to be a little bit closer than the Liam Davis fight. I think that Liam Davis is a little bit shell-shocked. I think Peter McGrail's going to obviously study what happened in that fight, see little chinks, work on things. But I do think it could be a chess match. I think it's going to be, you're not going to have one of these type of fights that we talk about, British title fights, where they're going to be centre of the ring. They're going to be, biting down on the gum shield, pure dogging it out. It's going to be a technical fight. It's going to be one for the purist. This is going to be one for the purist, one that actually enjoys boxing for what it is: skills, footwork, fast hands, head movement, slipping shots, combinations. You're going to get a real good spectacle of boxing in this fight. I just think that Shabaz is going to be just a little bit better on the night. So for me, Shabaz on points.
Yeah, I totally agree. My lad has just started watching Cobra Kai. He's 9, and he started watching it. He's obsessed with it at the moment. I've watched bits and bats of it with him, and you see some, like when we watched The Karate Kid, obviously it's a follow on from that when we were kids, and you see some of the movement where there's shots going in and there's punches and there's chops and they go making them miss. That's going to be Masoud to me on Saturday night. He's got that lateral movement where he makes you miss. You just said there Liam Davis was shell shocked. I think he was, because he was getting frustrated that he couldn't fucking land. McGrail's a little bit more accurate. He's a bit more timed his shots better with accuracy and things like that. I think after it starts off cagey, it's you go, I go, you go, I go. I think Masoud, once he settles down, once he gets into the rhythm, it will frustrate Pete McGrail. And that's like I said, Pete McGrail sometimes gets drawn into things he doesn't need to, and he'll get frustrated. And I think the counter punching of Masoud would be enough. I think it's going to be a lot closer to Liam Davis, 100%. Yeah, but I think Masoud's going to do probably more than enough in the back end of the fight. Championship rounds to clock up enough and win by a unanimous decision, I think. Yeah, so I'm going to say Masoud, mate. Shabaz Masoud on points. Very underrated fighter.
Just so you know, in that fight between Shabaz Masoud and Liam Davis, Terry O'Connor scored it 116-112 to Liam Davis.
Yeah, let's move on. There you go. It's pathetic, isn't it? Yeah. It's an absolute joke. That guy needs to be investigated because it's not a.
That's why it was a split. No.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Not even. You're laughing, but we're laughing at it, not with it, aren't we?
Yeah. That's what I mean. That wasn't that fight. This one I'm looking forward to, though.
Jesus Christ. Yes. Pat McCormack, Conor Walker, all the other way round. British and Commonwealth belts on the line here. According to BoxRec, they're not on the line, but I saw already speaking about it earlier at the press conference. Bit of argy-bargy between these two earlier, which I like to see. There's a bollocks IBF Continental belt no one cares about on the line for this. My thoughts haven't changed since this was announced, Dave. got a lot of love for Conor Walker. We've covered him on air before he won the British title, and he's gone on to defend it since this year against Liam Taylor, I think it was. I think it's a bit disrespectful when people say it was a shot from the gods when he stopped Harry Scarf. Yes, it was a shot, but it was a shot he was been looking for all night.
Yeah.
He finds a way to win, does Conor Walker. You know, he's in the fight all the time. He's in exciting fights. He comes forward. He's a pressure fighter, throws lots of shots. I'm surprised he's got quite a low knockout ratio the way he fights. You know, we've said this before. He's always throwing punches. He's not a craftsman. He hasn't got the skill set. He hasn't got the IQ. He's what you see is what you get. And this so far, it's done him well. He's the British Commonwealth champion. Eddie's given him a contract. He says that's what boxing's all about. I love it. Really, really love it. And I'm a massive fan of Conor Walker. Yeah. However, we talk about steps too far, and I think this is a step too far for him on Saturday night. Pat McCormack, Dave, is a silver medalist, 8-0, only 8-0. His kind of career, we spoke about big phrase yesterday. I wouldn't say plateaued, but I think now is the time he needs to kind of win these belts and then kind of fast forward in 2026. Because this kid's got the lot. This kid's fantastic. I'm a massive fan of Pat McCormack as well. I've got a soft spot for Conor Walker as the guy. He's a local guy as well to me. Just lives like the road in Wolverhampton. I love the journey. But Pat McCormack, I think there's something special about this kid. And I'm going to say it now, and I mean that. We saw Lewis Crocker against Conor Walker. Me and you kind of was divided in the result that day. And I still think, and people still think, Conor Walker did enough to beat Crocker. And Crocker's now the world champion. I believe Pat McCormack beats Conor Walker on Saturday night. I think he beats him quite easy. And I still think that he's at where he is in his career. It'll be 9-0, I'm guessing. You can see where I'm going with it. I still think he's good enough to beat Crocker, to beat Rowley, and to beat Barrios right now. And it's a bold statement because of where he is in his career and what he's done. But I think this kid's very, very special. And I don't understand. I know he's had injury problems and lack of activity and things like that. But he's a matchroom guy. He's got all the skills to pay the bills. He mixes that amateur style with that, with that come forward pro style. He does look for the knockout. Eddie doesn't shout from the rooftops about him like his other fighters, which I think is strange. I'm going to. So I'm going straight in here, mate, before you do. Pat McCormack to beat Conor Walker very, very comfortably on points. I don't think he's got enough to beat a very stubborn, awkward, horrible style of Conor Walker, but he's got the IQ to work out what he's doing. He'll stay away, counter punch, jab. He'll come in with some hooks, great feet, pivot in, move out the way. It will be a kind of an Olympic style victory. But Conor Walker will be in his fight to the end, mate.
It's very hard to disagree, mate. Like I like Conor Walker, and Conor Walker is one of them sort of old throwback fighters that isn't the best technically, but he's likable. He's likable in what he does, and listen, he puts his heart and soul into it. You know, every fight. A lot of the times he's losing, and he pulls out a punch that that he finds.
You're going to say from the gods, then?
No, I wasn't. No. I wasn't going to go back on what you just said. No, it's not, because, like you said, he hasn't just pulled a punch that he hasn't thrown in a whole fight and just pulled a howitzer. He's looking for it, and but he is exciting to watch. Yes, listen, you're not going to get the razzle-dazzle from him, of great boxing skills, but he's decent, and like I say, you know what you're going to get with him. It's very much, he's going to be in exciting fights, but again, he's coming up against a rising star in Pat McCormack for me. Pat McCormack's got a lot. He's got an amateur pedigree, like you said, and he mixes it, but he's also, sometimes, and we talk about Pete McGrail having that, where they come in and they don't have that pop, where, yes, the skills are fantastic, but the finish isn't really there. So, 9 times out of 10, the fight's going to go distance. And, sometimes it'll be, an absolute shutout. And for the purist. With Pat McCormack can do that as well, but he's also goes in there to do damage. He wants to get the stoppage. He wants to be, he wants that. He wants early night work. So for me, he's got the lot. I think
if he hurts. Oh, sorry, Dave. If he hurts Conor Walker, he will go for it.
Oh, he will.
Kind of stand back and admire as an amateur.
And that's sometimes a frustrating thing with the amateurs that especially the Olympians that turn over. They don't usually come in with that killer instinct. They've been point scoring their whole life, so the transition takes a while, and sometimes they don't find their power for quite early on, to quite late on. Sorry, Pat McCormack sitting down on his shots, straight away, wanting to hurt you, wanting to stop you, which is fantastic. But he can also box should he need to. I don't think that in this fight he's going to be under immense pressure from Conor Walker. I think Conor Walker's going to be stubborn, but I think the offensive work's going to come from McCormack. And we're talking about Conor Walker looking for a shot. I think I think Conor Walker's going to hang his hat on trying to find that shot. And as the fight goes on, he's going to get desperate. And for me, he's going to walk onto something. And I predict a body shot. Now, I don't think it's going to be early because I think Conor Walker is a stubborn old dog.
Liver shot. Yeah, he's quite low, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's going to get desperate, and then he's going to walk onto a shot but he doesn't see. And I think he will get up, and I think he will carry on. And I think he's, we're at a time when they get hit with the body shot, they go down about 3 times, and I think it'll be called off then. But I think he's going to be in the fight. He'll be losing the fight, but he'll be in it. Yeah. He'll be in the center of the ring. He'll be throwing shots. He'll be trying.
He ain't there to survive. He won't be there to survive. He'll be in the fight. Yeah.
He'll be in the fight. He won't be winning. He'll be getting outpointed, but he will go for it, Conor Walker, because that's what he's like, and that's why he's excited, and that's why he's liked. But I just think that Pat McCormack's going to have a little bit too much. I think Pat McCormack's going to stop him on a body shot in round 7.
Yeah, I can see it, mate. I feel guilty about going against.
I know. Him. I like Conor Walker as well. I mean, he has got a good fan base, Conor Walker, and you can see why. He puts everything in the ring. He does. He's not a Floyd Mayweather type fighter. He's an old wily old dog who gets there and gets stuck in, and people can get on board with that, and that's what he is. And should he pull off this fight, it'll be some scalp. But I just think the quality of Pat McCormack will be a bit too much.
Working class hero is what you could probably call Conor Walker.
Yeah.
Good luck to both men.
Absolutely.
This fight, ladies and gentlemen, please, when you're watching your DAZN card on Saturday night, don't go and make a cup of tea or switch off. These 2 fighters here, Brazil's Beatriz Ferreira and Turkey's Elif Nurtan, we haven't spoke about them on this podcast. I think we've mentioned Ferreira once in comment when we're talking about champions. Yeah. She is the IBF lightweight champion at the moment. But this has got all the ingredients to be the fight of the weekend in terms of rock'em sock'em.
Yeah.
Ferreira is the champion. She's 8-0 with 2 KOs. I've got no idea how she's only got two KOs.
Mate, I was going to say that, yeah.
How the fuck? Whoever she's been in with must have dynamite chins in the women's game. Because, granite chins, should I say, not so much dynamite. She walks forward, she throws loads of shots, she sits down and everything, she looks to hurt you. Her opponent on Saturday night, this Turkish girl, I think she's harder. This girl don't give a fuck. I think there's no IQ here. I think they've got. Don't get me wrong. There's in terms of boxing goes out the window with these two. Whoever lands first, that's it. It's beast mode, poking the bear moment, center the ring. Whoever lands the hardest falls. I think this has got the ingredients to be an absolute slobber knocker, an absolute firefight, edge of your seat, shouting and screaming. Do not sleep on this. Do not hang your coat on this. Do not walk away from this fight. This is the co-main to the main event. Everybody's tuning in for this. If there's not a knockout here, I'll eat my fucking hat. This has got honestly, Dave, I didn't know too much about the Turkish girl. Done a bit of homework like we normally do.
Yeah.
And she's she don't get me wrong, she just doesn't come in and start throwing wild haymakers and howitzers. She can actually box. Yeah. Ferreira can actually box, but because they've got a very similar style, when they just want to trade, boxing goes out the window, trap setting goes out the window, IQ goes out the window, footwork goes out the window. Plant your feet and throw. I can't wait for this. There's a knockout coming here, brother, in the women's division as well.
Yeah, I've looked at both of them today as well, and skills-wise, Ferreira's on a different stratosphere from it. I was watching her earlier. Her head movement and slipping shots, and you see she's got an amateur background anyway. She was Olympian, wasn't she? Some of the shots that she makes you miss and encounters was amazing. Like, she's got great footwork. She's a very, very skilled boxer in the women's division. She is really, but she's got spite as well. You nailed it there. I was going to say the same thing. How she's only got 2 stoppages with the shots that she lands clean, I'll never know. She's very, very good, Beatriz Ferreira. I like her a lot. She's got a lot for me. Like I say, she's footwork's amazing. Head movement and combinations is great, and she's got spite. Looking at Turhan, she's not on her level for me skill wise, nowhere near. But she's game. She can punch, and she's going to come forward. So out of these 2, she would have been the one that's going to try and pull this into an absolute war, because that's the only way she can win. But in that, they're both going to be centre of the ring, because Beatriz Ferreira, she's game as well. So this is going to be a good fight for the women's division. I think I'm with you. I think there'll be a stoppage here. I think that they're both going to go for it. I just think that Ferreira's skills wise, when I looked at her today again, skills-wise is amazing. I don't see that in Turhan. I see a good fighter in Turhan in the women's division who can punch. Skills-wise, I would say she's basic. You know, she does the basics very well. But because she's got power, you know, she's got the confidence to walk forward. I think that will probably be her downfall when it comes to Beatriz Ferreira, because Beatriz Ferreira can slip shots, you know, take a little step back and then counter with two punch, 3 punch combos. And they're solid combos as well. Again, I don't know how she hasn't knocked more people out with it. I think that they're going to come out the traps early and go for it. And the first couple of rounds will be rock 'em, sock 'em, like you said, and be competitive enough. I think Beatriz Ferreira takes over. Where's Turhan down? And in a 10-round fight, I'm going to go for Beatriz Ferreira to win by KO in round 8.
I'm going to go the opposite way.
Yeah?
I'm going to go, and I'll tell you for why. That KO ratio, watching her fight, doesn't kind of add up. Yes, she's aggressive and she stalks, and she's a lot more skillful than Turhan. Turhan has got good fundamentals. She can box compared to somebody that we saw last week in Ebony Cotton. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I think it's a shot she's not going to see coming. This turn, I just think she's aggressive, Beatrice. But does that aggression turn into power? It doesn't look like it turns into power. Some of the girls she's been in with are quite, I won't say happy to take the punches, but they're not effective. They're clean, but they're not effective. Turhan's power seems to be clean and effective. We don't know how well Beatrice's chin holds up. She hasn't really been caught with anything big or significant. Turhan, yes, she's going to have to follow her around the ring and put pressure on her. And I think she'll get to her at one stage in the fight. She could be losing every single minute of every single round. And she lands one, and it's one she doesn't see coming. So I'm going to go against you this week, mate. It doesn't matter anyway, prediction league-wise. But I can smell an upset at the weekend. And I think it's going to be in this fight here. I'm going to go for Turhan to stop Ferreira and become the new IBF champion of the world in round 8.
Oh, wow. And this is the reason why you're so far behind on the prediction league, by the way.
I'm going to clip this. And put it on Twitter. You know my luck anyway. But yeah, I am looking forward to that, to be honest. There's two girls we've never really mentioned, but it is a fight that's going to deliver, I do believe. Just quickly, Johnny Fisher's back on here, Dave. We're not going to really speak about that fight, if you like. He's on the comeback trail since he lost to Dave Allen. He was stopped. He's with a new training team now, isn't he? He was with the Tibbs brothers. He's with Tony Sims. He's taken on a late replacement. He's expected to do the job and rebuild and kick on in 2026.
I think he needs to do it quietly. I think he was fronting him for the Bosch Army and that. I'm
fed up with it. I'm fed up. Not Johnny. I'm fed up with the senior. You know what, mate? Sorry to interrupt, but I've got my Twitter feed and I've got my Instagram feed, and it tells you if you don't want to see these posts anymore, kind of block them or silent them. I silent all the ones with the Bosch Army, all that crap. He's doing all sorts of different. He's doing a politics show the other week. I saw. I mean, come on, that's the state of the country now. He's Big John Bosch is talking politics. But anyway, I block all the stuff. I'm not interested in seeing him. I'm interested in the Sun, but he still pops up. I can't get away from the cunt. You know, sorry to set you off, mate, but yeah, you are right.
No, I just think that he needs to do it under the radar. We spoke about the same thing with Campbell Hatton, who's retired now. Like, go on the small hall shows. I know he's not. This is not a small hall show, but just do things under the radar, out the spotlight, and rebuild it that way, and get back to where you believe you're going to be. I think it was too much too soon with Johnny Fisher. I think he just needs to do things, under his new training team and build correctly.
Yeah. Definitely. Totally agree, mate. Sean McComb's on there as well, keeping busy. He's taken on an actual prospect from Monaco, from Monte Carlo, which opens to show up on Saturday night on the zone.
That's mad, that. Do you know that? The boxing world is mental because he beat Arnold Barboza, wasn't it?
You can't let that go, can you?
But look where he is now. He's fighting prospects. Yeah. He would have been fighting. He would have been fighting for a world title. That's the cruel thing in the sport, like where judges can ruin your lives. They can. I mean, I'm sure he's got a great life.
You're right. I can't disagree.
But his life would have been completely different, mate, had he got the decision that he should have got. It's mad. And the same with Jack Catchell. We bang on it. He would have been undisputed. Jack Catchell should have been an undisputed world champion. And he's never been a world champion. It's mad how a judge can watch a 36-minute fight and it can determine the outcome of your life. Like, I don't think I'll ever get over it.
Terry O'Connor was involved in both fights, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, fucking Terry O'Connor.
Let's leave it there. That's on the zone on Saturday night, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Right, let's head over to the States. Amazon Prime pay-per-view. San Antonio, Texas, a PBC card, WBC interim super lightweight title on the line in the main event. Issac Pitbull Cruz, the fan-friendly favourites, against Lamont Roach Jr., a.k.a. The Reaper. look, we all love Pitbull. I don't think there's any boxing fan that doesn't like Pitbull for his style, just how he is, what he looks like. He is a fun fighter, but he's more than that. He's an ex-world champion. You know what you're getting when you watch him, when you pay for him. He's educated pressure, heads down, loads of shots, good engine. You know, he's at the top table for a reason. You know, sometimes he looks a bit messy what he does, but he's got an old-fashioned Mexican style, which is successful. And Lamont Roach Jr., Dave, let's be totally honest, before he fought Tank this year, earlier on in the year, we didn't know too much about him. He wasn't that active, and he was on shows we weren't really watching. You know, he's got his flowers now. He's got his kudos, because I think most of us would agree, even though we think how good we think Tank is or we don't think Tank is, if Tank never took that fucking knee, it should, you know, it's a draw at the end of the day, but he took a knee, and for whatever reason, the referee didn't give it. You know, remember he got that stuff in his eye, and
his grease off his hair in his eye. He took a knee, which was kind of got wiped, and nothing happened.
There you go. And if it was a 10-8 round, Lamont Roach Jr. would have got the victory over Tank. And I think a lot of us think he beat Tank that night for whatever reason. So he's moved up a division now. It's an interim belt for whatever it's fucking worth. It's a good. I don't know if I'd agree with this should be the main event. It's a main event for a reason. They're both PBC fighters. I get it, but it's one. The next one we talk about, I think, is a lot more worthy of being a main event. But it's a fun fight. It's to become the mandatory to fight the champion. Love watching Issac Cruz. And Lamont Roach Jr. is again. It's two completely different styles. It's a bit of a pick and fight, isn't it? You know, it's both can box, both can move, both can punch. So how are you seeing this one, mate? I haven't really made my mind about how this one will go. I can't see a stoppage, and I can't see someone being very dominant. I can see it being you win around, you win around, you win around, you win around. You know, I think playing out of my head as of yet.
I think this is going to be a very hard fight to score. I think it's going to be scored on what you actually like. You know, you're going to have the aggression from Issac Cruz, because that's what you get. But it's educated pressure. People think he just bombs forward, but he doesn't. He sets up his shots. You know, he's got some engine. He's exciting. You know, you can't help but not like Issac Cruz. You know, we wax lyrical about him on here. We like him. And Lamont Roach Jr. has just come off an unlucky decision against Tank Davis. I thought he boxed very, very well. And I thought it could have been like the breakout night for him. You know, it wasn't to be. It should have been. It wasn't to be. Again, with madness that happens in the ring and all this sort of stuff. But again, he comes through at Issac Cruz, and you know that's a good win. I think it's. I'm with you. I think it's going to be two. I think this is going to be super close, and I think that the more eye-catching work will probably come from Lamont Roach. I think, but I think that it depends on how the judges are going to score it. You can score it on pressure, and that could swing it in the favour of Issac Cruz, or clean and effective work that you like to say against. I think that's the difference between the two with Lamont Roach. But I think it's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a competitive fight. This is the fights that we want. You know, we want to be having this conversation. Yeah, we got. You know, we're talking about this fight now, and none of us can really pinpoint who's going to win. Yeah. And how. And that's what we want. That's what we want on the sport. Yeah, that's what we want. You know, this is a 50-50 fight for me, and it will be. And yes, I'm gonna pick a winner because I have to. But if the other person wins, I you know, fair play. I've got no argument against that. I don't think anyone's going to run away with this. Listen, Issac Cruz has been beaten, but Issac Cruz has been competitive in every fight he's been in. You know, and
Venezuela was the only one he kind of got. Even though he was in the fight, there was a lot of pressure. The one you kind of fell in love with over that night.
Yeah.
He boxed on the back foot, counter punch, and then kept moving. You got to move out the way from him.
Yeah, but
like you just said there, you nailed it. Sorry, Dave, you nailed it there about pressure. Yeah. Do you judge it on pressure, or do you judge it on kind of point scoring, back-footed? He's not really a back-footed fighter, to be honest, Dave. If we talk about his slick black Americans, he doesn't really fit into that character. He does like to come forward. He does like to throw. He does move a bit and uses footwork and lateral movement, but he's a bit more front-footed. And just quickly, because the WBC are involved here, an interim title, and they're both home fighters. I think Lamont Roach is a PBC. Definitely Issac Cruz a PBC fighter. Sullivan, the Mexico link. I've got a soft spot for Pitbull Cruz, but I don't want him to get the decision just because of the the connection with the WBC and Mexico. You know. Yeah.
No, exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean. And that'd put a stain on a fight that's for me is competitive. There should be no fucking brown envelopes and all this other little stuff that goes on in the background that should have a detrimental effect on this fight. This fight should be played out. Listen, you know, two really good fighters and a 50-50 fight. I think it's going to be razor close, razor sharp. Could even be a split decision. I think.
Yeah.
So I'm going to lean towards, and it breaks my heart, I'm going to lean towards Lamont Roach Jr. on points by a round or so, but a split decision.
Yeah.
Could even be. No. I was going to say something there that would put me on the fence.
No, go on.
I said it could even be another draw for Lamont Roach, but I don't. That's fence sitting, so I'm not going to do that. Lamont Roach Jr. by a round.
But you've kind of backed it up by what you've said. 50-50 fight. Blue colour doesn't beat red. Red colour doesn't beat blue.
Yeah.
So you can see a draw. It's a fair. It's if you're picking them because you love both fighters, that is fence sitting. But because you can't pick between the two styles, it's hard. It's hard. I'm edging to Issac Cruz because I am a fan of him. I've got nothing against Lamont Roach Jr.
Yeah.
You know, so he's come to our attention since Tank since a Tank fight. And fair fucks to him.
Yeah.
But I edged to Cruz to do it on points. I mean, they're both former world champions as well. They're both trained by their dads. There's a little bit of a narrative there, and I think it's going to be a good fight. It's going to be you can see their style. You can see both their styles, and I can just see Cruz wins the first. Lamont Roach wins the second. Cruz wins the third. I think it's going to be tight, but you're edging Lamont Roach Jr. and I'm edging Issac Cruz. This to me should be the main event.
This is the fight of the weekend. For me, this is the fight of the weekend. Peter McGrail and this fight, I think, is the fight of the weekend.
Take it away.
No, go on. You carry on, mate. I'll bounce over you.
No, you're right. I was going to segue then to Peter McGrail and Shabaz Masoud. That's a high level chess match. This is a world level chess match for me.
Yeah.
But both fighters have got a bit more than just chess, especially Issac Foster. I love Issac Foster. I've fallen in love with him since that round of the year 2 years ago, being robbed against Robson Conceição. People talk about the Taylor Catchell robbery. Yeah, it was. But a lot of people don't talk about the first Conceição fight because they haven't seen it. Go back and watch that. I spoke about earlier Shabaz Masoud making people miss in the Cobra Kai. He was doing that all night to Conceição. Second fight, Conceição done his homework and it was a lot closer. But Issac Foster, to me, he's the champion here. He's very underrated. Not just can he box and move and lateral, all that kind of IQ science. He's very, very good. Stephen Fulton was just the same. He's got the skills to pay the bills. Yes, come up short against Inoue. Couldn't make bantamweight anymore. Jumped up 2 weights. I think he's a 3-weight world champion now. No, he's a 2-weight world champion, destined to become a 3-weight world champion. And this has got the ingredients to be a great, great fight. Because not only, as I just said, I'm repeating myself, not only do they both box on the back foot, not only do they play chess, they both like to come forward and trade. But I think in this fight, Dave, as in Stephen Fulton's now moved up 2 weight divisions, the weight he's put on, I'm not saying he looks fat, I'm not saying that at all, but it looks like it's manufactured weight. Is this a weight class too much for him? He possibly might have to go 12 in this fight. Now, Issac Foster's gone the distance, I think, the last 6 fights. This is his weight division. This is his baby. He's been here. He's won the t-shirt. He's done it. I know Stephen Fulton's with the Bozy Ennis crew. He's with Boots. He's with Jack Catchell. He's with Andy Cruz. So you know what's coming on the inside, feet planting. But unfortunately for Stephen Fulton, for how good he is, I think if you're going to trade with Issac Foster, who again doesn't have as many knockouts as he should have, when we were talking about Beatrice a couple of fights ago, I think if he trades on the inside of Issac Foster, I think he gets stopped. This is a great fight. This fight and Peter McGrail fight and the girls fight, for what it's worth, I think there's some fantastic boxing at the weekend. But for me, this should be the main event. And also, before you come in, Issac Foster, as far as I know, is still a top-ranked fighter. I just hope we're not sitting here next week or whenever we're back doing the podcast, Dave, looking at this fight and thinking, once again, Issac Foster's been fucking screwed here.
Yeah.
Well, Stephen Fulton was the home fighter. I don't like to think like that. Let's kind of erase that for now. Yeah. But because I'm a fan of Foster, I'm going to go in with Foster to win. Haven't made my mind up yet if he's going to stop him or it's going to be on points. But high-level chess, world-level chess for the WBC super featherweight title, mate. I agree, mate. I think this is a great fight. I think that again, it's going to be a close one. I think it's going to be a close one. I thought Stephen Fulton may have been on a decline, and when he was moving up through the weights, we always questioned whether he had. Have you seen what it looks like? Have you seen what it looks like now, weight-wise? Do you think he? I think he looks. As I say, I don't like to say fat because not announced a fat on him. He just looks too big.
Yeah, like a Lawrence Okoli looking. When he move into heavyweight manufacture.
Yeah, if you like. Yeah, you'll see it weighing anyway, mate. Sorry.
No, like I say, and it's always been that question mark of Stephen Fulton carrying any pop. You know, like his boxing skills, you cannot be questioned. So, and obviously moving through the weight division, so we always think, oh, can they take it up with him, especially if they are punchers? He's never had that, so he's had to rely on his boxing skills, and it's got him so far. It's got him a great career. Shaki Foster is, again, for me, has a lot of skills, but he has a bit more spite for me than Fulton. And the worry is that if he's moving up 2 weights, it could be a step too far. But I liked Fulton in his last outing. You know, when he had the Timberland boots, boxing boots, and the jeans and the jean shorts and that. And I thought he boxed fantastic. I think, I thought he was going to be a lot closer
against Figueroa, wasn't it?
Yeah, Brandon Figueroa. Sorry, yeah. And I thought he boxed brilliantly then. And I know we were talking about this in his back, obviously we was talking about, will he have any sort of scars from the stoppage from Inoue, that sort of stuff. So for me, he's shaken that off. And based on his last fight, I thought he was fantastic. For me, I think this is going to be another close fight, another high level, world level fight where you're going to see skills. I do think that tactics will play a massive part in this fight. Stephen Fulton, I don't think should be trading with Shaki Foster. I think that if Stephen
he
Fulton
will though,
boxes,
he will now because he's proposed it, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. I think that could be his downfall. But I think that if he boxes to a game plan and does what he does, does what he can do and what he did against Brandon Figueroa, I think he can win this fight. I really do.
That's why it's a good fight.
Yeah, I really do. So I think it's going to boil down to game plans and who's willing to stick at it.
Yeah.
Now, if Fulton boxes like we know he could frustrate Shaki Foster, and then Shaki Foster can be pouring forward and throwing a lot of shots and missing. But again, I like Shaki Foster as well. This is a tough one to call as well. It's a really exciting fight. It's a world level.
Could be a stinker, Dave. We're hyping it up to what we think it should be or it could be. But if they do play chess and they do the old Spider-Man, you go, no, I go, you know, I go. It could be a stinker. Because they've got very similar styles in terms of IQ and back-footed fight and point scoring and pot shot and that kind of thing. I don't think it will because there's a title online. I agree with you. It could be the downfall of Stephen Fulton here because we've seen it now with Jack Catchell just planting his feet and trading. Got away with it, if you like. Yeah. Yes, I know it's against Echo Esserman, but it did work for whatever reason. Andy Cruz will find out in January when he goes against Moratella. He's going to be looking for the knockout. We'll soon see if he can take Moratella's power when he trades in the pocket. And here, I think he's going to get greedy at times. I think he might even be up on the cards and he plants his feet and trades. He's going to come off work. He might get. I'm going to go in for it. I think he gets stopped. I think Stephen Fulton gets stopped in round 10. I can see him. I can see that. That's why I'm sort of saying if he trades with Shaki Foster, I think Shaki Foster could stop him. I think that's why I said at the start of my gambit here that I believe that tactics and game plans could be the difference here. And for me, I'm going to throw it out there. For me, if Stephen Fulton sticks to a game plan and sticks to his boxing and doesn't get drawn into anything silly, I think he wins. I honestly do, and that's not to say anything bad about Shaki Foster because I think Shaki Foster's got all the ingredients to win as well. I just think that the game plan. I think the coaches have a lot to play in this fight, in the way that this fight is won. Now, I think they could be a massive difference in this. And so for me, I'm going to go against you. I think that Stephen Fulton's going to win on points. I think he's going to outbox Shaki Foster at times. I think Shaki Foster is going to pour forward, knowing that he's the bigger puncher of the two. And then and in that, he's going to throw shots and Stephen Fulton's going to slip and counter and look $1 million in doing it. So I'm going to go against you, mate. I think Stephen Fulton's going to win this fight on points. But a caveat is I can completely see it going the other way. If Stephen Fulton stands there in the pocket and tries to trade, I think the fact Shaki Foster could stop him. So I think that they must have looked at this. They must, you said moving up 2 weight divisions. You have to. You can't be going up in all these weight divisions and thinking that you can be the same fighter. I think you've got to stick to your strengths, which Stephen Fulton's is boxing. He's not a puncher, so he gains nothing from me by standing there and trading. I think he wins the fight on pure boxing. And out of the two, as much as I like Shaki Foster, I think he's a very good boxer. I think Stephen Fulton's the better boxer of the two. Great boxer, isn't it? No, I can't. I think they're very similar in their styles. As I said in my opening gambit, I think Shaki Foster is very underrated And what he does. If you watch what he does, he's got great feet. He's got a great jab. He sets great traps. People don't know about the Conceição one fight because people weren't, especially us here in the UK. They're not hardcore fans like us. They're not setting their alarms at 1 o'clock to get up and watch it. He's a very underrated boxer, and I think he's got enough. If you compare feet, if you compare movement, if you compare lateral movement, there's a debate there to say one's better than the other. But this is O'Foster's division. This is the first time Fulton's up at super featherweight, so I think it might be one stage too far for him. But again, possibly. We're debating on it. So that means it's going to be another great fight, mate.
But both of what we're saying can actually happen. We're throwing out different scenarios on how both of them can win.
If Stephen Fulton wins by UD and outboxes him, I'm gonna be kind of shocked that he's done it so dominant. But in another sense, I'm not going to be shocked because I know how good technically he is, So
that's what I mean, and that's what's carried him through his career. He's a technically very, very good boxer, but he came up against an Inoue, who's an absolute killer, So it happens, but 9 times out of 10 he'll outbox his opponent, Stephen Fulton, on any given night. That hasn't gone away,
definitely. To add on a sad note,
this
was supposed to be. Well, this would have been one for us to look forward to as well. Lara against Janibek. Unfortunately, as we spoke yesterday, that Janibek's pissed hot, waiting for his B sample, but he's not fighting anyway. We've got a late-minute replacement for Lara's WBA middleweight world title. Johan Gonzalez. Look, I haven't got a problem with this because it's on 4 days' notice. He's ranked 106 in the world. Should he be having a world title fight when he's not in the top 15? Of course he shouldn't. But who else is available? I know he's been fighting on PBC cards and things happen. This guy, to be fair, Dave, he's got a decent record. It's a padded record, but it's a good record if you look at it on paper. 36-4 with 34 knockouts. Now, irrelevant of his skill set, he can fucking bang. This guy, he can fucking bang. He's been in with Jarrett Hurt. I think we might have mentioned the fight.
We did mention it, because we thought Jarrett Hurt was his comeback, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's on the decline.
He's
on the decline, Jarrett Hurt. I think we did mention it, but Jarrett Hurt is also a fighter that's dropped Lara in the past and beat Lara. I know it's a few years ago now, but Lara's 42, guys. He's only 2 years younger than me and Dave. He's not as active anymore. The last time we saw him, yes, he dropped Danny Garcia at catch weight. He's not as fast as anymore. You go back to those days against Canelo. He put in a good shift and skilled Cuban amateur. Had all the skills to pay the bills. He's had a long old career, pro
He's
and
not
amateur.
that active though, is he?
No, and time's kind of running out for him now. He's not the guy anymore. If this was a Janibek, yes, we've got love for Janibek. He's one of my favourite fighters, but I think Janibek would have beat him, juiced or not juiced, if you like. But I give this guy a chance, Dave. Late minute, 105 in the world, looking for an upset, looking to be world champion. He's waited long enough. I'm not saying he beats. I'm not saying he beats Lara, but I think he's going to be in this fight. I don't know too much about him because it was kind of a last minute when I was doing my notes as well.
Yeah.
If Lara gasses down the back end of the stretch of the fight, Dave, at the age of 42 and nothing left, and this guy's pouring forward, throwing loads and loads of shots. I don't like using it because he's looking for the shot. They're in inverted commas, shot from the gods, as we say. He can get stopped there. Lara's not that guy anymore. The name carries weight. Of course it does. And he's still a world champion. He's been ducked by certain people, Chris Eubank Juniors of the world, and free shots and all that kind of thing. I don't know anymore, Dave. I'm not too sure. The American Dream it was called, wasn't he? But that dream's kind of fading. Yes, he's still winning fights, but it's not there anymore. Has he got enough to beat Gonzalez? We'll find out on Saturday night.
Totally with you, mate. He's had one. This is his first fight this year, by the way. He had 2 fights in 2024 against Danny Garcia and Michael Zafara.
Yeah.
And then his fight before that was Gary Spike O'Sullivan. Fucking hell, remember him? Who fought Chris Eubank Jr., bald head and had the moustache.
I think he's still knocking about somewhere, isn't he?
He's the world champion on Twitter. He's always putting jokes and out on there. He's quite funny. I think he follows me, to be fair. He's quite funny.
He's in a pod then.
I can't do the moustache. But yeah, listen, this has potential to be a Rocky story. Should Gonzalez pull it off? He's got all the ingredients for that. A late replacement. He's got one shot. He's took it. He has got a serious record. He has got, and he has just beat Jarrett Hurt, even though that there's massive decline there. But it's a name. It's one of them. It's a bit of a sour note on this fight now because we were fans of Janibek. All that stuff now has come out, which is just such a shame. Because I think we'll be having a different conversation here when it comes to as a Andy Lara. Should he been fighting Janibek on Saturday night? But yeah, listen, I think that Gonzalez, if timing's everything, like I say, going in with a 42-year-old, the only thing that at that sort of age can beat you sometimes is yourself. He's had a very long, he's had a long career. He's inactive. He is inactive. If he was ever going to have a shot to do it, this is it. But I'm gonna lean towards the old wily dogged champ. I think that his time would have been up should he fought Yanni a bit, but I think he'll still have a little bit too much for Gonzalez. But I think this could be a bit of a stinker. I think this could be a bit, a bit.
Do you not see Gonzalez going for it? He shouldn't be having a world title shot. Let's be perfectly honest. He's not even in the top 15, so he's going to grab it with both hands, Dave. I'm not sure this is a stinker. I think he's going to go for it, Gonzalez. Whether he's got the skill set and the educated pressure or the know-how to do it, I can see him coming forward and fucking throwing for the hills,
Yeah, I just worry there'd be a lot of grappling, a lot of holding, like the referee coming in because Gonzalez go for it, but I think that there's Lara might tie him up, throw a couple of shots, tie him up, and make a bit of a. I'll try an old man him.
Yeah,
I think it may come down. I hope not. I hope it's an absolute fucking barn burner, but I get a feeling that listen, skills wise, you're going to lean towards Lara regardless of his age, and he knows how to work himself around the ring. For him to have the career that he's had, he's the same age as us, by the way, to still be a world champion at this age. He knows his way around the ring and how to keep himself safe. Gonzalez is coming in with a big knockout ratio, so Lara will be fully aware of that. So I think that he's either going to be on his chest or he's going to be up close. He's going to tie him up, throw a few clean shots to catch the eye of the judges, and dog walk himself to a points victory for me. So I'm going to go for a Lara on points.
Yeah, I think it's the safest bet, isn't it? But I think I'll edge to a points victory as well, mate. Just based on name value and not knowing too much about a padded record of Gonzalez. But I can just see Gonzalez just trying his hardest and going for it. Imagine he catches him, or imagine he does something and shocks him. Would it be a shock? Because the first thing we'll all say as boxing fans, Father Time's caught up with him. Inactive, 42. His time's gone now. He took us off the ball, whatever. So yeah, but I think I'm with you, mate. I think Erislandy Lara on points. Just quickly, just a few things I want to mention. Obviously, Frank Martin's back on this card, on this stacked PBC card as usual. We haven't seen him out since he lost to Tank Davis last year, so he's going to have a lot of ring rust there. But you did mention on David McDonald a couple of months ago, he's in with Rance. I think it's Rance Bartholomew.
He's the guy with the dreadlocks and that. Yeah,
that's right. He's still knocking about. Cuban. Yeah. Two-weight world champion, so that should be interesting. Not the guy he once was, but it's good to see Frank Martin back. Hopefully Frank Martin can get the win and get back into the mix. And to end on the kind of the previews of the weekend, very strange fight on Friday night over in the UK. Down at York Hall, Michael Hunter is taking on Eli. Where's it? Eli Frankham. Okay, this fight is not on BoxRec. It's fought on some random sanctioning body that's not recognised. We saw Michael Hunter back last year, I think it was, Dave, fighting in Russia against a prospect and lost an 8-rounder. Wasn't mentioned ever again. Eli Frankham's been in the same kind of journey, if you like, because BoxRec said he's fought 3 times. Go on other sanctioning bodies, he's fought 6 times since 2020. Since COVID 2020. So I had no idea what's going on here. I had no idea what it's all about. It's actually on a streaming service called Stage Player, a free app called Stage Player. Michael Hunter is 37 now. His career has plateaued badly since he left cruiserweight. He gave Usyk problems down in the cruiserweight division, and it just hasn't kicked on. He's been mentioned to fight Jarrell Miller. Not that Jarrell Miller should be in a sport, but I'm just saying for him to make some money and become a name again in the heavyweight division. Was pulled out the Pulev fight for Don King was involved along the way. He's put his hand up to face Moses Atuma, and he's coming over here to fight for a pittance at 37 at York Hall against a guy 3-0. I think Frankham's been in a bit of trouble. I think he's been in and out of prison. He comes from the traveller background. Know nothing about him. It was just kind of notes I read on the internet. What's this all about, Dave? Why is he fighting over here on this kind of card no bugger knows about? Rather than getting your Jarrell Millers or your regular fights against Pulev, or taking the Moses Atuma fight when he said he wanted to have it. What's this?
I don't know what Michael Hunter's done to upset someone, but it's almost like he's been blackballed from any sort of meaningful fights. It's a shame, really, because we've done Michael Hunter Hunted for a little while, and
Remember that? Oh.
Yeah. He hasn't fought since then. I'm not even hunting a boxer anymore. I'm just hunting someone on Twitter.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot that.
But the thing is, as well, is that how is his name put into the hat for our British prospects that we've got? You know, all these ones, these TKVs and that. That's it. That, you know, should that his name been put into the hat to fight them and actually fight them and they beat him? That's a good name to have on their record. Like there's plenty of fights out there for him, you know, that he should be having, and it just seems it's almost like he's been blackballed for some reason. You know, like he's on the peripheries of stuff, but no one wants to take a chunk out of him, or or bring him in and give him an opportunity. It's almost like he's upset all the promoters. For him to have to be an American fighting at York Hall when he's not the home fighter is strange to me. It doesn't make no sense. But I suppose if you want to look at it as a positive, if he's trying to keep busy for something more meaningful, I can think that that could be the only thing. But like I say, his name. Over the last few months, has been thrown into quite a few hats, and nothing's materialised. So it's just a strange thing. I don't know who he's upset, but whoever he has, he needs to go and apologise and hopefully, because he's a decent enough fighter. He can cause problems.
Very good fighter,
yeah,
very good fighter. It's on a rogue sanctioning body as well. I can't work it out.
Yeah,
I can't work out. Like you said, it's a strange. It's just a shame because he's wasted. His twilight years as well, and his prime years when he moved up from cruiserweight to heavyweight, just kind of wasted them. Yeah, it is what it is. But we'll keep you up to date what happens there at York Hall next week. Winners weekly wager, mate. To end the show, £142 in the pot last week. You went for Huey Fury to get the win by KO in round 2. It was an RTD in round 1, but we classed that as a stoppage. So there was 3 points earned there. You know how it works, ladies and gentlemen. It's doubled. It's turned into 6 points, turned into pounds. So this weekend, we've got £148 in the kitty. And once again, Mr. Holland did win the Prediction League. And he gets to pick, once again, his banker of the week. So where you going, brother?
My banker of the week is going to be. I'm trying to think of the fights now. We've just spoken about them all.
Do you want me to go over them all again?
Yeah, quickly run through them. Yeah.
So we've got Lara Gonzalez, O'Shaki Foster, Fulton, Cruz, Lamont Roach Jr, Ferreira versus Turhan, Conor Walker, Pat McCormack, Shabaz Masoud, Pete McGrail, and Jai Opetaia versus Cinkara.
Jai Opetaia, 100%. 100% Jai Opetaia. Yeah, it's got to be for the week with his weekly wager. It can't be any other outcome than him absolutely sparking Cinkara.
Yeah, sensible choice, mate. Weekend plans? We're going to fuck off now. I've got to go to work yet again. So
I've got my work Christmas party tomorrow night, so that'll be carnage.
Oh, lovely.
Arsenal women's on Saturday versus Liverpool. And Sunday going to see my mum. So yeah, I won't be around next week as me and you've spoken about. I'm sure you'll have someone on to take my place. Obviously, it's my dad's funeral next week, so I've got a lot of stuff to sort out next Thursday. So I won't be around next week, but I'll be back the following week, back to normal and doing the thing I love, which is chatting boxing with you for at least 3 hours a week. So yeah, that's me, mate. What are you up to?
The girls are both away this weekend. Standard. And the first team. I don't drive, so I can't get there. I'm going to have a quiet one, mate. I'm going to have a quiet one for a change. I think I'm going to get some sleep in for a change. I will be on the drink, but I won't be hammered because we'll actually have a couple of hours sleep. So the girl, Freya's playing football, Noah's playing football, weather dependent. So yeah, football, sleep, and a couple of bottles of wine, mate. And yeah,
sounds like a great weekend to me, mate.
Yeah. Well, we're getting old now, so try and get as much sleep in as possible, especially working nights. It's yeah, it is what it is. It's one of them, as people say. Right, so let's love you and leave you, everybody. That's the end of episode 163. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as our new thing goes, David Boy, please see us out.
Maurizio Sulaiman has stated in his argument with Terence Crawford that Crawford didn't even apologise. On that note, have a great week and enjoy the bloody boxing.
Oh, classic. See you later, guys.
Bye, mate.